You ever been in a room so quiet you could hear your own heartbeat? That's what it felt like when Ellie Harper, a 9-year-old kid with pigtails and a beat-up notebook, stood up in a Chicago courtroom and said, "I'm my mom's lawyer." Yeah, you heard that right, a little girl, barely tall enough to see over the bench, staring down a room full of suits, including her own dad, Richard Voss, a real estate shark who thought money could buy anything, even his own daughter. This wasn't just any custody fight, it was a war over a $2 million trust fund Ellie's grandma left her, a fund Richard wanted to snatch to save his crumbling empire. Ellie's mom, Sarah, was a diner waitress, scraping by, pouring coffee for truckers at 5 a.m. to keep food on the table. Richard? He was all flash custom suits, Rolex gleaming, the kind of guy who'd sell his soul for a headline. But Ellie? She was something else. She'd spent months in the back of the public library, guided by Miss Clara, a librarian with a knack for spotting a kid with fire in her eyes. Ellie wasn't just fighting for her mom, she was fighting for herself, for every kid who'd ever been used as a pawn. Picture this: the courtroom's buzzing, lawyers shuffling papers, Judge Margaret Cole peering over her glasses, half expecting a stunt. Ellie steps up, clutching her notebook like it's a shield. "Your Honor," she says, voice steady as a rock, "I'm here because this case decides my life, and nobody knows my truth better than me." The room freezes. Richard's lawyer, some hotshot named Paul Grayson, smirks like he's already won. "Cute kid," he says, "but this is grown-up business." Ellie doesn't flinch. "If it's about my life, it's my business," she fires back, and you could hear the air get sucked out of the room. Sarah's eyes well up, pride mixing with fear. She had no idea her daughter was planning this. Ellie flips open her notebook, pages filled with scribbles from late nights at the library. "My dad's not here for me," she says. "He's here for Grandma's money." She lays it out. Richard's company was tanking lawsuits, bad deals, a messy divorce from a reality TV star that left him broke. The trust fund was his lifeline, but only if he got custody. Ellie pulls out public records, court filings, even a grainy photo of Richard schmoozing at a gala while Sarah worked double shifts. Then she drops the bomb, a recording from a night Richard showed up at their apartment, thinking Ellie was asleep. His voice crackles through the tiny device. "Once I get her, I'll stick her in some cheap boarding school, $600 a month, and I'll cash out that trust." The courtroom gasps. Sarah covers her mouth, tears streaming. Richard's face goes ghost white, his fancy tie suddenly choking him. But Ellie's not done. She pulls out more stories of people Richard ruined. Like the Garcias, a family who lost their taco shop to his shady loans, or Mrs. Leland, an 80-year-old widow evicted from her home so Richard could flip it for millions. "This is who he is," Ellie says, her voice shaking but fierce. "A man who preys on people who can't fight back." Judge Cole's eyes narrow, and you can see Richard's lawyers squirming, their whole case unraveling. Paul tries to object, stammering about procedure, but Ellie cuts him off. "You want to talk procedure? How about the procedure of lying to a kid her whole life?" The room's electric, nobody's breathing. The climax hits when Ellie reads a letter from her grandma, Lila Voss. It's worn, folded 100 times, written in shaky cursive. "Ellie, my darling." It starts, "I made this trust to protect you from your father's greed." Every word's a knife, slicing through Richard's lies. He slumps, hands over his face, as Ellie's voice rises. "He never wanted me, just my money. And I'm here to make sure he never hurts anyone again." The judge bangs her gavel, voice booming. "Mr. Voss, this court dismisses your petition. And I'm ordering an investigation into your financial dealings." The marshals move in, cuffs clicking, and Richard's let out, head down, no fight left. Sarah pulls Ellie close, whispering, "You did it, baby." The room erupts in applause, a wave of awe for this kid who took down a giant. But it's what comes next that really sticks. Ellie doesn't stop at winning. She writes a book, A Kid's Fight, that becomes a beacon for kids everywhere, teaching them their rights. She and Sarah start a network of community centers, giving families free legal help. By 16, Ellie's the youngest lawyer in history, suing the school system to teach kids about justice. Richard? He's in a cell, haunted by the daughter he underestimated, watching her change the world on a grainy prison TV. Sarah, now a community leader, stands by her, beaming with pride. Here's the thing, what would you do if someone tried to take everything you love? Ellie fought with truth, guts, and a notebook. Maybe that's the lesson. No matter how small you feel, your voice can shake the world. So, tell me in the comments what's a time you stood up for what's right or saw someone else do it. Hit that like button, share this story, and let's keep talking about justice, courage, and what it really means to fight for family.